The time is 5 o'clock. Here is the world news at 5. First, the top stories. Ogun converting Ransom Kuti's family home in Abeokuta into museum. Only 30% of UTME's 1.7 million candidates to be admitted for 2017-2018 session. Family of sacked miner says he is a messiah of pensioners, not fraudster. Court sentences 2 armed robbers to die by hanging in Abeokuta. In foreign, Kenyans vote for new president amidst tight security and opposition boycott. Saudi Arabia seeks to end extremism and return to moderate Islam. Good evening, I am Aghemerio Oaikhenan, bringing you the news in detail shortly. And now the news in detail. Ogun State government has begun the conversion of the family home of Ransom Kuti at Imo in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, into a museum. The renovation work has started on the one-story building located behind the old Abeokuta Grammar School, Oaikhenan, to immortalize the family. Governor Ibikunle Amosu announced the project while conducting the Information, Culture and Tourism Minister Alhaji Lai Mohammed round the building. Members of the Ransom Kuti's family, including late Mrs. Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, the first Nigerian woman to ride a car, once lived with her husband, Reverend Oludotun Israel Ransom Kuti, and her children in the building. Her children include former Health Minister Professor Olikoye Ransom Kuti, and activist Dr. Beko Ransom Kuti, and music legend Fela Anikulapo Kuti, all of them now lead. The governor told the visiting minister that a conversion of the building into a museum will be completed by next year, when the 80th posthumous birthday of late Fela Anikulapo Kuti will hold. The minister said the federal government will support the museum project to boost the nation's tourism. Nigerian Medical Association has called for a review of immunization coverage in Nigeria. Ogun State NMA Chairman Dr. Olajide Abayomi, who made the call at the 2017 Physicians Week in Abeokuta, says the policies, service uptake, utilization and critical analysis of the challenges of immunization in Nigeria requires a review to meet the global standard. According to Abayomi, militancy, insurgency, kidnapping, as well as agitation for secession has added to the challenges threatening immunization coverage of the country. He explains that Nigeria is in a deep state of despair with alarming poor health indices, especially infant and under 5 morbidity and mortality rates, suffocated economy, and disorganized health system within a recessed economy. The NMA chairman laments that many years of failed planning or failure in planning is haunting Nigeria. Only 30% of the over 1.7 million candidates who wrote the 2017 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME) will be admitted into universities and other higher institutions of learning for the 2017-2018 academic session. Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission (NUC), Professor Abubakar Rashid, made this known at a public hearing organized by the Senate Committee on the Regulatory Conflicts between the Joint Admission Matriculation Board (JAM) and universities on admission of students. He explains that the crisis in admission is primarily caused by the acute shortage of spaces to accommodate all the candidates who passed UTME. JAM Registrar Professor Isa Oloyede, however, explains that most of the candidates who wrote the UTME lack the required qualifications to gain admission into the tertiary educational institutions. According to Oloyede, about 30% of UTME candidates do not possess 5 ordinary level credits to go into universities, while 80% of the UTME candidates are awaiting results and cannot be admitted, even if they scored more than 400 cut-off mark. Former Senate President Senator Ken Inamani has advocated the drastic cuts in the number of political parties in Nigeria to promote accountability and good governance. Inamani, who made the call in Abuja at the Nigeria Unity Conference, suggests only 2 or 3 strong political parties. 2 or 3 strong parties, according to Inamani, will create a situation whereby parties cannot win in areas where they are not strong and allow the sanctity of the ballot box. Even in the old democracy like the United States, the former Senate president says there are only two strong parties who are equally matched in finance and knowledge. Family members of former chairman of the Presidential Task Force on Pensions Reform, Abdurrashid Maina, who was sacked by President Muhammadu Buhari, has come out in his defense. The family says it has consulted lawyers over the seizure of Maina's houses in Kaduna by operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The family spokesman, Aliyu Maina, addressing a news conference in Kaduna, says that Maina is a messiah who had exposed corruption in the pension system and not a fraudster as being portrayed in the media. Maina, according to him, will come out of hiding and make several revelations after his safety is guaranteed. He alleges that the Buhari administration, in recognizing his efforts in sanitizing the pensions board and police pensions, invited Maina to return to Nigeria to participate in its anti-corruption agenda. Blaming a cabal for the woes of Maina, the family spokesman promises that he will soon resurface and make startling revelations. Wife of Boko Haram leader Abubakar Shekau has been feared dead in attack by Air Force planes on the suspected hideout of the terrorist group in Borno State. Nigeria Air Force believes she died during the airstrikes on the new structures being constructed by the terrorists near Konduga in Borno State. Air Force spokesman Air Commodore Olatokunbo Adesoya says Shekau's wife, Malama Fidasi, was addressing Boko Haram fighters at Duwawa when the warplane struck the location last October 19. Adesoya explains that the woman was representing her husband at the terrorist camps, which was devastated by the warplanes, adding that Air Force is intensifying efforts to confirm her death in the attack. He, however, says that human intelligence at the location confirms that Shekau's wife was killed in the air raid. Amabe High Court has sentenced two persons to death by hanging for armed robbery in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital. Those to die are Kodri Ogunwiwa and Kayode Sonyaolu. Justice A.A. Akinyemi, who sentenced the accused persons to death, rules that the prosecution has proven beyond reasonable doubt that the two accused persons are guilty of the offense. They were convicted of using knives to rob one Mrs. Mufiliat Ogumbo the day of the sum of 105,000 naira and one Nokia phone on October 9, 2013 at Ogun Radio area, Ayetoro Road in Abeokuta. You're still listening to the World News at 5 on Rock City 101.9 FM. Up next, we bring you foreign, business and sport news. Please do stay with us. On the foreign scene, voting is underway in Kenya amid tight security in a rerun of the presidential election, which has been boycotted by the main opposition. Police have clashed with opposition supporters, some of whom have been blocking access to polling stations. Mr. Kenyatta is seeking a second term. Opposition leader Raila Odinga has pulled out of the contest. The polls on Thursday opened with tens of thousands of police and other security personnel deployed to protect voters and polling stations. Mr. Odinga had wanted the repeat ballot to be held at a later date, but a bid to delay the election rerun fell apart after only 2 of 7 Supreme Court judges attended a hearing on Wednesday. Meanwhile, opposition leader Raila Odinga's Western Region support base of Kisumu residents are obeying his call to boycott today's rerun of the presidential election. The Say No polling stations has opened in Siaya, Kisumu, Homa Bay, and Migori counties. Protesters have also barricaded roads and lit fires in central Kenya and in the Western Rift Valley region where President Uhuru Kenyatta has support. Voting is going smoothly. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has said the return of moderate Islam is key to his plans to modernize the Gulf Kingdom. He told reporters that 70% of the Saudi population was under 30 and that they wanted a life in which their religion translates to tolerance. The prince, speaking after announcing the investment of $500 billion in a new city and business zone, vowed to eradicate the remnants of extremism very soon. Saudi Arabia's royal family and religious establishment operate an austere form of Sunni Islam known as Wahhabism. Now in business. Only 4 state governments in the country have the capability to meet their recurrent expenditure, including salary, without borrowing or depending on funds from donors and extra budgetary sources. The 4 states, according to reports, are Kano, Katsina, Rivers, and Lagos. The report is unveiled by a budget transparency advocacy group, Budget Nigeria, in its new Fiscal Sustainability Index. The report says the effects of the huge debts backed by irrevocable standing payment order is eaten deep into the finances of Lagos, Cross River, and Osun State. Anambra and Yobe State are named as 2 states in the federation able to sustainably manage their debt profile. Finally, in the world news at 5, sport news. Super Falcons defender Ngozi Ibiri has spoken on how happy she is to have completed a shock transfer from PSG ladies to Cypriot side Barcelona FA. The former Rivers Angels defender joins Barcelona FA from French Division 1 feminine club Paris Saint-Germain, where she spent 2 years. Ibiri says her personal target is to give 100% of her ability to help the club. Amabe International has confirmed it has reached an agreement with Gombe United to sign Austin Oladapo. Oladapo, a Chan Super Eagles invitee, will move to Aba ahead of next season for an undisclosed fee. The forward, who scored 7 goals last season at Gombe United, has joined Amabe for domestic and continental football next season. Amabe press officer Solis Chukwu confirmed the transfer of the player to Amabe from Gombe United. Amabe will resume camping for next season in Ogun State next week. That was the world news at 5, and just before we get the major stories once again. Ogun converting Ransom Kuti's family home in Abeokuta into a museum. Only 30% of UTMA's 1.7 million candidates to be admitted for 2017-2018 session. Family of sacked miner says he's a messiah of pensioners, not fraudster. Court sentenced 2 armed robbers to die by hanging in Abeokuta. On the foreign scene, we reported that Kenyans vote for new president amidst tight security and opposition boycott. And also, Saudi Arabia sought to end extremism and return to moderate Islam. For more stories and to listen to us live, please log on to our website www.rockcityfmradio.com/live. Thank you for listening. I am Aghemerio Oaikhenan. Good evening.